Get ready. Here we go. Live. Welcome to this podcast.
So it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Radio Leven 372. It's episode number 8, oh my. And we're in the Dumbarton Scurry, Dumbarton's premier pub shed. And it's welcome back to Mrs. Rowan. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you, Mr. F?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks very much. I'm just admiring the refurbishment here at the Scurry.
Yeah, looking good.
It is, it's looking marvellous. That new brick wall they've put in looks absolutely terrific.
Fantastic.
I'm impressed.
Some sticky back plastic there.
Fabulon.
I would say you're looking lovely today. You're looking pretty in pink with your new Ned suit
I've got my wee Ned suit on, a pair of shorts on and thick ankle socks. I look great, fantastic. Look like Max Wall a wee bit. Anyway.
Oh, you're looking good. I love pink on a man.
You do? You like something pink, don't you?
I do.
Long and hard, what is it?
Long and hard. Oh, that's Rock from Blackpool, isn't it?
Anyway, so inane chatter, that's what we do best. And the inane chatter today is actually going to be featuring your good self for most of the podcast, I believe.
Yes.
So we're going to have a wee laugh, a wee bit of nostalgia, which is a thing of the past, I believe, about your musical influences.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're just having a wee laugh before we actually started recording there about the first song you're going to talk about. And what is it?
Oh, it's My Girl Lollipop by Millie Small.
Millie Small. Who?
Millie Small.
Right, okay, right. How does it go?
My girl lollipop.
Oh, right. That wasn't the one I heard earlier.
Well, the reason why I like it, it makes me laugh, is because years ago in the early 90s I went on a booze cruise on the Waverley paddle steamer. Ooh. And after having a few drinks, being fairly young, we all started singing and dancing to My Girl Lollipop. And it's the song that reminds me of that great night out. But it also makes me laugh because if you like Glasgow humour and a bit of, as we said, Ned people, there's a girl called Denise Ferry who sang this song at her mum's graveside, and unfortunately it made me laugh. It's just showing my warped sense of humour. It made her a star.
She went viral for that. That was a shame because it was her mum's funeral.
Yeah, she went viral, but anybody in Glasgow that knows of this girl, if you're into YouTube, look her up. Girl sang at mum's funeral, My Girl Lollipop. Although she's called Denise, she looks more like a Dennis, I would say. But she's fantastic, makes me laugh, and that's what life's all about.
Indeed.
3, 7, 2.
So we're taking these in no particular order, Mrs. Round. So as Kirsty would say, or Lauren would say in Desert Island Discs, we're on to track number 2.
Yeah, well, track number 2 for me is Nellie the Elephant by the Toy Dolls.
Nellie the Elephant?
Nellie the Elephant
packed her trunk and said goodbye to the circus. That one?
Off she went.
Why?
Yes.
Why? What?
Well, as you know, I started my work career in the Clydesdale Bank, if you can say that I've actually had a career throughout my life.
Career.
And we used to have a cheese and wine in between Christmas and New Year. And our boss, Sandy Nielsen, used to buy all this really expensive wine on a drink and return sale thing.
Drink and return?
No, not drink and return. Because we drank
too much lager there, barman. Drink.
So there was nothing to return, basically. Buy and, what do you call that? Buy and return.
Sale or return.
Sale or return. And it was all this fancy stuff that was way above me. That was a $2.99 girl. This was like £20 in those days. But anyway, it was in the 1980s, and we used to always get really quite drunk. And one of the songs that we used to play was Nellie the Elephant. And if you can imagine maybe 20 or 30 work colleagues all in a circle with our hands through the person's legs in front of you, holding their hand, and the one behind you. So we're with Nellie the Elephant round in a circle. And it was fantastic fun. And if we went to any nights out, that was always played. And it really reminds me of Gordon Kennedy that worked there.
Oh, Gordon Kennedy, the famous actor person?
No, he wasn't a famous actor.
No,
not that I know of. He worked in the Clydesdale
Just
Bank.
worked in the bank.
Yeah, he was a banker.
By the way, we're actually going to, sorry to interrupt, but we're actually going to have to maybe do a video on one of these things. You just actually see what Mrs. Round tried to do there. She actually tried to impersonate an elephant, right, inside one of the smallest pubs in the west of Scotland, knocking everybody over as she was doing it. Hard work. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
And also my good friend Nina Gardner. Known her since I was about 16, 17. Had a great friendship throughout the years. And I wish her all the well because she's just had her knee replaced.
Oh, has she?
Yes.
Oh, well, aye.
So she's
okay.
hobbling on sticks at the moment. So I don't think she'll be able to do a bit of Nelly the elephant.
And she'll need to put a mask on over the beautiful features as well.
So she's going to be one of our guest speakers in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, but we'd have to. It's going to come with an X-rated things. That one, PG-18.
Nina taught me everything I know.
Yes, everything.
Yeah. So that's Nelly the Elephant by the Toy Dolls.
Radio Leven, sponsored by the Dumbarton Story.
Well, very good. Right, so song number 3.
My song number 3 is The Gambler by Kenny Rogers.
Oh, I like that song.
I do as well, and I love country music, but the reason why this makes me smile is years ago I used to work in Dumbarton Football Club, and my boss was called Alan Jardine.
Beardy.
Yeah, Beardy as we called him fondly. Got a few stories to tell, but never mind. And he was at the Rock Bowling Club supper, and I think they do that at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's a
It's kind
prize
of like
game.
a prize giving, but they call it a supper. And The Gambler came on, and Alan Jardine was up in a chair giving a yeehaw, belting his little heart out, and somebody recorded him and put him on YouTube. Well, on the Monday at work, his face was like fizz. He was so... he was like a madman saying, "Hey, put me on YouTube." No. And he was... If anybody knows him, you'll know how he reacted. So we had to walk on eggshells for the next 2 or 3 days until he'd calmed down.
A classic. He actually demanded that came off YouTube, and a lot of people were... the fact that he demanded that it come off, more and more people were pointed in its direction.
I must actually do a check after this to see if he's still on.
I don't think it is actually.
Is it
I
not?
actually think it was removed, but I remember at the time it was extremely funny because if you know Alan at all, he is quite reserved. He's a nice fella behind all the bluff and bluster, but that kind of ruined his reputation for a wee while. Chairman of the Dumbarton Football Club singing The Gambler.
Another fond memory I've got of Alan is it wasn't really funny, but when you drive into football club, there's a bit that always floods, and we'd had really heavy rain, and he had this gorgeous brand new BM, was it a 10 series or something? It was fantastic. And he drove through and got stuck in this puddle, and I had a little clapped out Ford Fiesta at the time, and I just sailed through it. But anyway, he threw me his keys to go in because I had to get him some socks and a towel because he had to roll up his suit trousers and take off his socks and shoes because when he threw me the keys they landed in all this water. So he had to go paddling looking for his keys. Oh, it was hysterical. So I took him out some goalie socks and a towel for him to dry off his feet. But the sad thing was it actually ruined his engine in his brand new car.
His engine, it went. I remember that.
Yeah, unfortunately he got it replaced under guarantee.
He likes his cars because Alan, he's always had a good BM. Those were the days back in the day, really.
Yeah.
Alan Jardine and The Gambler.
Good times.
3, 7, 2.
Yeah, well, here we go. We've got another wee first here on Radio Leven 372 podcast. We have a guest. Now, she might be intruding a wee bit on Rowan's glory here today, but we're taking the opportunity to connect. We're going far east. We're going to Edinburgh and South Gyle, and it's going to be Claire, a colleague of yours, Rowan.
Yeah, I met her a couple of years ago in a project we were working on, and we've had some good nights together. All through lockdown. But it's been great fun, and she was the lady that introduced me to Rum and Pep.
Rum and Pep, so she's to blame.
She's to blame, yes.
She's got a cracking wee story about ABBA. On you go, Claire.
How's yourself? Yeah, do you know, it's probably maybe a kind of a common one, but it's Dancing Queen by ABBA because there's only 14 months between my sister and I, so on a Saturday night when we were wee, my mum would let us have like a little party and we would play ABBA Dancing Queen, and she used to call us our little dancing queens, and we'd get up and we would dance. But you'd have your nightie on, you'd be all right bathed and ready for a bit, and you'd have a wee tea party type thing. And still now, whenever I hear it, and my sister and my mum, it takes us all back to when we were that lovely young age where you were enjoying life, and it was nice and simple, and you just enjoyed a wee boogie on a Saturday night. So yeah.
Well, Claire, thanks very much. It's always good to have people on the programme. That's a cracking wee story about ABBA. I think that'll be with us for a long time to come. So, if you're just tuned in, it's Alan and Rowan and Inane Chatter at the Dumbarton Scourie, Dumbarton's premier pub shed. It's a busy afternoon again here in the wee shed at the bottom of the garden, and it's there's lots of birds and pigeons and all that.
They're all flying above us.
Our microphones are a bit sensitive. Anyway, we're on to I think it's song number 4 for Rowan. Now apparently this is going to make me cry, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is. I'm going to combine 2 songs here, but it comes under number 4 because it was our wedding day.
Wedding day.
31st of May 2013. Now, I never thought I would get married again, and the romantic Mr. F proposed to me on Christmas Day in front of the boys.
And one knee, because only had one knee.
Because it just dislocated his other knee, so it was a bit of a laugh. Anyway, we decided to get married, and we had a fantastic day, just with close family and friends there. But I walked down the aisle, if you could call it an aisle, in Dumbarton's
Municipal
buildings. And it was I Want to Grow Old With You by Westlife. It's a song I really love to this day. And the second song I would like to combine with our wedding day was The Ring by Tom Carter. Now, this is a lovely song, and our friend Gregor Porterfield sang that whilst we were signing the register. And the feedback we got from our family and friends was it was the best wedding they'd ever been to. It was nice and informal, relaxed, and everybody had a great time.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Fond memories. I can't say the next 7 or 8 years has been as good.
Especially the last 2.
But the wedding day was fine.
Yeah, we had good fun. Yeah, I remember Gregor singing that song.
Yeah, and he's a fantastic singer.
We kind of forced him into that a wee bit, to be honest. Jeez, there we are. Now, having had a wee sneak peek at your list, I see this next one, number 5, is probably a wee bit emotional.
Yeah, it is. It reminds me of my dad, Cat Stevens' father and son.
Oh, right. Okay.
And most that I'm not his son, obviously, because I'm his daughter. But the reason why I'm still laughing because I miss my dad terribly. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2005. So I do miss him because we were really, really close. But unfortunately, he had cancer and he was in hospital for the last 2 or 3 weeks of his life. And I used to play this song driving to and from the hospital with tears rolling down my cheeks.
Did Ronan Keating not do a version of that?
He did, but it was the Cat Stevens one. I had a few other songs on that cassette. It was a
cassette?
It was a cassette at the time.
Do you know, you can actually buy cassette recorders now again.
Oh, can you?
You can,
oh,
yes.
Right.
There was one on Amazon the other day when I was looking at the special deals. And there was
that where you got your hat?
A cassette recorder. I'd leave my hat out of this. It's a shame. Big Al, never got to know him. Only met him once? Twice,
yeah. It's a shame because he was one of the best men in the world. He was just fantastic.
Aye, fathers and their sons, eh?
And I don't really know why. I think the song only reminds me because I used to listen to it in the car driving home from the hospital.
Yeah.
I miss him. Big Al. Yep.
So 5 songs there from Mrs. Rowan on Radio Leven 372, the podcast of Dumbarton here in the Dumbarton Scourie, Dumbarton's premier pub shed. And that's it. That's it for another episode. Episode number 8. Who thought we would get this far? Now, before we go, we'd just like to say thanks to everybody who has taken the time to tune in to our wee corner of the world where we just hear talk a load of nonsense. We enjoy doing it. It's good fun. Keeps us at the road of the buses, as they say. A couple of wee name checks too. I'd like to say happy birthday to Lisa, because on the day that we're recording this, it's her 38th birthday. Happy 38th birthday, Lisa.
Yeah, happy birthday, Lisa. And
the good news here is, of course, that Lisa's now expecting a baby. We now know. And,
that's lovely.
And that's going to be
baby
due.
number 3.
Baby number 3, and that's going to be due in June. So something to look forward to there. So we've had a good time this afternoon, Mrs. Rowan. How about you?
Yeah, no, I've had a great time. Yep, fantastic. Can I just add on a last song, because it always gets me up on the dance floor.
A bonus song.
A wee bonus song. And it's called Shiny Disco Balls by Who Da Funk.
Who Da Funk.
And who da Funk that I would like that song. But But I love it, and
Well, you like a ball, don't you? You like a cheesy ball, a
Especially
shiny
cheese-
disco ball.
I like any kind of balls, even tennis balls. But anyway, I love this song, and if I'm out at a wedding or an event that has a DJ, I always ask for this song. So it's Shiny Disco Balls by Who Da Funk.
Who da funk? Yeah, who da funk
Yeah,
it?
so that's enough from me today, I think.
Okay, thanks very much, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you, hear you again on episode 9. Ching ching!
Cha-ching!